afternoon to you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Time to start the 4 to 5. I'm Eric Chilton along with Lauren Coleman, Stacey Spivey, and Monique Robinson.
Welcome to you all watching the 4 to 5 right here on WFMY News 2, Fire Stick, Roku, and the WFMY News 2 app, and on our Facebook page where a lot of people are buzzing about our top story this evening. Guilford County school parents and students continue navigating alternatives to get students to school as the district deals with a driver shortage.
Starting today, GCS offered several shuttle stops to take some high school students to campus. Those shuttle locations service Page, Dudley Smith, Andrews, and High Point Central high schools. Other students could use public transportation. This all due to a shortage of drivers due to COVID-19. These alternative transportation options come after the district had to delay middle and high school start times on Friday.
Leaders are applauding the collaboration between Guilford County, the city of High Point, and GCS to make sure students make it to classes. WFMY News 2's Itanise McMiller takes a look at how students navigated the bus depot.
Getting to school by means other than a school bus is uncharted territory for many high school students. GTA wants to make the process as easy as possible, so they put up these labeled posters as a guide, letting students know what routes they can take. They also had their operators scattered throughout the depot to help students if they needed. Staff with Guilford County Schools were also here at the depot to help. Management with GTA says there weren't many high schoolers who chose to ride their buses this morning, but the transit agency is prepared with an extra bus if more students need a ride. Mayor Nancy Vaughn stopped by the transit center to see the process and know things that can be improved.
It's interesting that some of the students that I spoke to said that they take the GTA bus already, so that this is not a change for them.
Mayor Nancy Vaughn says she noticed the low ridership and believes it is due to today's block schedules for testing and GCF staff stepping up to offer a shuttle service.
The school system got together with the high schools and they came up with shuttle stops. And I think a lot of the students are probably utilizing the shuttle stops as opposed to GTA.
And we are tracking just how many students rode city buses. GTA says they'll make that number available to us tomorrow.
For parents or anyone in Greensboro or High Point using public transportation, you can track your ride. Greensboro residents can head to ridegta.com for information on routes and real-time bus information. The city also uses Translock Rider app to provide that information to bus riders with smartphones. High Point residents can access their route information on highpointnc.gov by selecting Transit in the department's column of the Government tab. You can plan your bus trip on the website and get the latest status and alerts.
Well, even though GCS found an alternative option for families, not everyone will be happy, of course. Many are showing their concern about child safety on the GCS Facebook page. Elvira said, why not let public bus drivers drive school buses and take kids to school? What parent will let their kids ride on a public bus? A lot of them will miss days in school. Why not remote learning? Dee says, why do you keep blaming COVID? You have had a shortage on bus drivers before COVID ever hit. LaQuanda says, this is sad. You don't know who could be on the bus when kids are riding it. It isn't safe.
Frustrations over a money mix-up in Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools.
I know that morale is low, and this makes it lower.
Tonight, we're hearing from the Forsyth County Association of Educators and a teacher about a multi-million-dollar budget error that's impacting expected pay raises in the district. WFMY News 2 obtained a letter sent to Winston-Salem Forsyth County school teachers from Superintendent Tricia McManus regarding pay raises. The letter says there was a mistake with the budget. It says the salary increase approved last month is $16 million over budget. This means all certified employees, including teachers and counselors, will not be getting the amount originally promised. It will now be in the hands of the school board to decide. They'll vote tomorrow night.
My heart broke for our staff because I know how hard they've been working and I know how happy they were to receive an increase in their supplement.
President of Forsyth County Association of Educators Val Young says employees were looking forward to this raise as many teachers have doubled their workload during COVID.
We want people to understand that just like on your position, when you do a job well done, that you like to feel valued by your employer, and we'd like to feel valued by our employer for a job well done.
And I did hear back from one teacher who said, quote, "We are incredibly frustrated by this, but this is what we've come to expect from this WSFCS administration. We appreciate the bonuses we have already received, but we won't be holding our breath expecting any more," end quote. I've reached out to all school board members and have yet to hear back. The school district tells me they can't answer any additional questions at this time, but of course we'll keep you updated on the board's decision made tomorrow night.
Well, Guilford County Schools recently approved bonuses for their staff members. GCS Board of Education approved $1,500 bonuses for all employees in the district. In addition to the district bonus, school leaders also approved an additional $500 for the district's lowest paid staff. And the state recently approved bonuses for state employees, which includes teachers. Some GCS teachers could see at least a combined $2,800 after the fact.
Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. Today, the city of Greensboro is requiring you to wear a mask in city facilities regardless of vaccination status. The rule applies to all city facilities, including the Greensboro Coliseum, the Aquatic Center, and municipal buildings like City Hall. It does not apply to private businesses. If the positivity rate continues to rise, the city says it will consider implementing additional safety measures. The city of Winston-Salem is hosting a second gun buyback after seeing success with an earlier buyback in November. A citywide gun buyback is an effort to cut gun violence and increase community safety. You can get paid up to $200 depending on the weapons you sell back. You can hand over pellet guns, BB guns, ammunition, starter pistols, and replica toy guns, but you will not receive cash for those items. The buyback will be this Saturday, the 15th, at the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds. And thank you to those who helped name Greensboro Science Center's penguin. Meet Niffler. You can see the picture there. Niffler is an African penguin recently hatched at the Science Center. African penguins are considered an endangered species. Now, Niffler's gender is still undetermined, but the veterinary team will conduct a blood test later to determine the gender.
Well, I decided to bring back that photo of downtown Greensboro because it is certainly just very nice outside. That current temperature is sitting now at 47 degrees. Certainly, we've been seeing no clouds out there, which is a much different picture compared to yesterday, where we did see abundant cloud cover. Our satellite and radar quiet. Nothing really to talk about for today, at least in the Weather Center, as weather is on the mild side of things. Temperatures in the upper 40s right now, 47 in Greensboro. A lot of other places knocking off that same temperature, 47 also in Burlington and Winston-Salem and down in Asheboro. Some few warmer spots, but certainly way colder when we look out west. Boone sitting there at 32 degrees. We've been getting these winds out of the north and west. You can see here pumping in roughly sustained at 5 to 10 miles per hour, but we've seen stronger wind gusts topping off around 20 miles per hour at times, even 25 miles per hour throughout this day, all in the wake of that cold front that moved through yesterday. Here's a look at those numbers. 28-mile-per-hour wind gusts at times in Greensboro. That was the max wind speed that was reported for today. 26 there in Winston-Salem. These winds staying fairly gusty at times as we go through tonight into the start of your Tuesday morning. Now, Tuesday expected to be a quiet day, but the forecast does feature the chance for some rain or maybe a wintry mix as we look ahead towards the end of the week. I'll be talking about it more in just a bit.
The Asheboro community is mourning the death of a fireman who lost his battle with COVID-19. Asheboro Fire Department Battalion Chief Chris Hoover passed away over the weekend. He was escorted from UNC Hospital in Chapel Hill yesterday. Asheboro Fire Department Chief Willie Summers tells me Hoover spent approximately 46 days in the hospital fighting COVID.
Christopher Hoover was a hero in this community, that he valued this community. He loved this community. You could see the passion on his face. He loved the fire service. He was a dedicated and committed firefighter. But better yet, he was a better person. He was a great husband, a great father, a great brother, a great mentor, and a great friend.
Summers says Hoover was a 24-year veteran of the Asheboro Fire Department. He says he also served 20 years with the Tabernacle Volunteer Fire Department. City of Asheboro Mayor David Smith says this passing is tough on the entire community.
It's an unfortunate way to come to the realization that COVID is real. COVID has killed too many people in our country, and we need to be more diligent and more serious about protecting ourselves and protecting others from the COVID pandemic.
There's been an outpouring of support from the community on social media. City leaders tell me Hoover leaves behind his wife and 2 daughters. We'll be right back.
I don't hear anybody talking to me. Nope. But can you hear me? Mic check, mic check. I can't hear you through my IFB at all. Hey, can you hear Brad? Nope. I'm on. I'm right here by the control room. I can hear you in real life. 5.
Did I screw that up?
I heard the show.
It should on 5. I don't know what happened there.
I can hear you now. Okay. I heard that.
When is it supposed to snow?
Saturday night, possibly.
Hello.
Hello.
And now it may snow Saturday night.
I'm off. You know what that means?
I'll be staying at the O'Henry. Every time it snows, I stay at the O'Henry.
Really?
Because I'm out in Summerfield.
Uh-huh.
One year I was coming in and I lost control, car got stuck. 2 times it happened. And so,
So now you don't stay.
Oh no, I'm moving this over.
and I thought it was,
A big shakeup in the NFL as 4 teams fired their head coaches. Broncos head coach Vic Fangio, Dolphins head coach Brian Flores, Vikings head coach Mike Zimmer, and Bears head coach Matt Nagy are all out of jobs. Team owners all say the same thing. They need their teams to be more competitive for championships and didn't feel these coaches met that goal. Fangio is considered one of the NFL's best defensive coaches before he signed his 4-year contract, but Fangio had 3 consecutive losing seasons. The Miami Dolphins were a different story, though. After seeing back-to-back winning seasons under head coach Brian Flores, the Dolphins finished with a 9-8 season, but Flores never reached the playoffs with the Dolphins. You may remember the Dolphins caught attention after finishing the year with 8 wins in the final 9 games. A statement from the Vikings over the release of their head coach, Mike Zimmer, read in part, quote, "We believe it is time for new leadership to evaluate our team so we can consistently contend for championships." Zimmer finished his 8-year run after the teams lost to the Chicago Bears 31-17. Now, Matt Nagy led the Bears for 4 seasons and only saw 1 losing season.
While those 3 teams were quick to take action, Panthers fans are wondering how much longer head coach Matt Rule has a job. Some viewers even seeing the number of coaches getting fired and asking Panthers owner David Tepper to follow suit. One user jokes by sharing this Oprah gif, and Oprah says, "You get fired, you get fired." And the user said, if only David Tepper and the Panthers were in on it. Another user wrote, David Tepper being locked on Rule with all this head coach talent around is so ridiculous. And John chimed in, David Tepper could do himself a big favor and go hire Brian Flores to be his head coach right now. WFNY News 2's Amanda Ferguson joins us with a look at the Panthers season and what lays ahead. Amanda.
After starting 3-0, the Carolina Panthers finished 5-12 in head coach Matt Rule's second season with the team. The Panthers ended on a 7-game losing streak, haven't won at home since September. Clearly a lot of issues here. The team doesn't have a lot of answers right now on day one of the offseason, but one thing's for sure, the Panthers aren't happy.
It's agonizing that happened. I mean, we're all in here today working to make sure 5-12 doesn't happen again. It pains me. It pains the guys on this team. So I think we have to look at it, but I do think we know the areas that we have to improve upon, and I think the stats that they bear that out.
We're on a losing record. You know what I mean? So clearly everything around us has to get better.
Sam Darnold's the only quarterback under contract next year, but he hasn't played as well as the team had hoped. A lot of uncertainties within the Panthers heading into this offseason. We'll see how that unfolds. We'll be right back.
So Justin Bailey is an incredible runner. Running marathons is commonplace for him, but a year ago, he stumbled across a problem that he said, I gotta help fix this. We're talking about childhood food insecurity. I spoke with him this morning about how he started a charity run called Run for Hope with Justin. Take a look. Hey Justin, this is really cool. I mean, you started this event last year, and then now, how did this all come about? Because you are an avid runner.
Yeah, that's right. So I am an avid runner, and I had been looking for something to do. I'm thinking, how can I increase this running and do something for the community? And so I said, you know what, let's just do this crazy idea where I'm turning 43. That seems like an achievable number of miles. Let me just go out and run 43 miles for my birthday, and at the same time involve the community, have people come out and run with me, and raise money for a great cause, and bring awareness to an issue that really is a big issue here in Forsyth County and in the Triad. So then it worked so well at my 43rd birthday that I'm going to do it again for my 44th.
Now, you say you're an avid runner. Give me an example. I mean, just the number of miles you just mentioned makes me tired. Talk about how you've built up your running over the years.
I've always been athletic and played sports. Well, when you get to the age that I am now, you can't really play sports that well anymore. So you can always fall back on running. And so I started doing that. And, you know, I did my first marathon in 2018. And since then, I've got into more of these longer distance type runs. Recently, I did the Pilot Mountain to Hanging Rock race, which is a 50 miler. That's been the longest I've done so far. So, you know, last year I did several of these marathon plus distances that they call ultra marathons.
Well, I can tell you that next Tuesday, I turn 56 and I will not be running 56 miles. Just want to get that out there right now.
Well, maybe 57. Maybe you can look forward to next year.
You're the quintessential optimistic guy. I like that. Hey, Justin, thanks for taking time out. I really appreciate this. Good luck.
Well, happy early birthday to
Yeah,
you.
no, a week away. I'm just holding on right now. I can't imagine 50 miles, right? Like when he said that, I actually thought when I heard that he runs a mile for every year he is old, I was like, oh, well, maybe over a couple weeks or something. Not in one day, but that's what he does. So that'll be this coming Saturday, 8 to 5. He'll be running this half-mile loop. And people come in and they run their own laps, however many they want to do. And they all pledge money. And it all goes to Hope of Winston-Salem, which helps to raise money and feed needy children.
That's pretty amazing and such a great cause. You know, we know that's a really prominent issue like everywhere. But what I think is really cool about this is he started running these marathons back in 2018. And the fact that he's able to run like 50 plus miles. So any of us with those New Year's resolutions to like get back in shape, there's no excuse.
That's like 2 marathons.
Yeah, that's
I mean, how long does that take?
All day.
It has to.
Gosh, I mean, I can hardly run. Like the only time I run is from my bedroom to my daughter's bedroom when she's
Which is a
screaming
lot
in the middle of the
these days.
night.
You're pretty quick, I'm sure.
That's as far as I run and as much as I run. But gosh,
Were you ever a
50
runner?
miles.
Did you run at
I
one?
ran track in high school, but I was more of a sprinter,
Short,
and I did
yeah.
like the field events, so long, triple jump. Those were my main events. And then, you know, I got to put the Orange Theory plug in. So I do run throughout the week, but not 40 plus miles.
A day.
A day. That's
Unbelievable. All right, so we're going to talk in the next half hour. We're continuing our chat with Justin. We're talking about the event coming up, how you can get involved and donate some money. So stick around for that. We're coming back.
So how many miles have y'all ran?
Weather is always ever changing. I mean, yesterday we were warm, the day ended with wet weather, and today is a much different story. Temperatures for tonight expected to fall back down into the 20s. Winds picking up again on Thursday, and the next chance of rain doesn't arrive until late Saturday. So take a look at this overall setup across the area. That cold front that brought us the active weather well out of the picture today. High pressure settling in, allowing for that cold northern air to really just push its way into our area. We'll really feel the brunt of it starting tonight, and then tomorrow everyone will be talking about just how cold it is. Now it will remain sunny out, and that will be for much of the early part of the week, but not until next weekend when that rain chance possibility returns. So forecast wind gusts through tonight, staying fairly gusty at times, and then continuing all the way through early Tuesday morning. By the afternoon, the winds die down, but then we're going to have to keep a close eye once again on Thursday. You can already see hints of that on Wednesday, where winds are starting to pick up across the area. Overall, like I said, that rain chance possibility is in the forecast. Things staying quiet through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, dry. Friday, this is when you got to take a look here. Saturday and Sunday, late Saturday, going into your Sunday. I know what you see on here. Yes, that S word is a possibility, but it's just so far away. We can't say whether or not we're going to be seeing rain across our area, snow, some type of sleet, wintry mix. As we get closer towards the weekend, we'll have a better idea of what is going to be in your area.
Monique, thank you. In today's U-Day moment, Coach Lamont talks about how we need to pay attention to the little things in life that can throw us off our courses.
There was a young man who worked daily in his garden in hopes of producing much fruit. He did everything he learned from his neighbor, who was a more experienced gardener. He prepped the soil, planted the best seed, and made sure it had enough sunlight and water. He waited patiently for the fruit to begin to grow and soon saw the fruit of his labor. Slowly but surely, his work began to bloom. Well, one day he went out to inspect his fruit and discovered it had all disappeared. The young man was disheartened by what he just saw, and he sought out the advice of his more experienced neighbor. And his neighbor told him this: "You failed to take the necessary measures to protect your garden. It was the little foxes that spoiled your vine." Be aware of the little things that come to throw you off course and destroy everything that you're working on. This is Coach Lamont reminding you to have your best U-Day. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, okay, like it's definitely a busy time here with people getting off and on buses. Now we're, mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Mic check 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. 1 2. Mic check.
Hey, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together like a classic combination. Huh.
good afternoon, everyone. I hope your Monday is going well so far. I'm Stacey Spivey with Eric Chilton, Lauren Coleman, and Monique Robinson.
How does it feel to be back? We
Yes,
missed you.
that's
You were
right.
gone for like a week.
I know. I had some much needed time off, spent with family. We did Christmas in Arkansas, and it was very nice. I missed you guys, though.
Very good.
And I missed my bed.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's
you know
true.
when you go visit someone and we are crammed in this little full-size bed, and
You're like, it's time to get back.
yeah,
home.
I'm ready for my king-size bed now. But it was wonderful. Thanks for asking.
Well, we're glad to have you back, and Monique will check in with you in a few minutes. But first, let's go ahead and hop into our top story.
Yeah, we continue our coverage as several Guilford County high schools either shuttle their students to class or offer them access to public transportation. District leaders are finding alternatives as COVID cases impact their bus drivers.
Both the district and Greensboro Transit Authority say at last check, everything went smoothly. WFMY News 2's Jenna Kurzina joins us live from the bus depot in Greensboro, breaking down how the day went and what parents should know.
Yeah, Stacey and Lauren, that's still what leaders with GTA and GCS are saying, that everything is going well so far. Here at the bus depot, you see people coming and going, and now we're adding some students into the mix. And here you also see this addition with each high school and the routes that these students should be taking. But again, GTA says that they won't have the total number of students that have been riding the bus until tomorrow, but both of those leaders, GTA and GCS, say so far everything has been going smoothly with the students making this change. Now, GTA says this isn't the first time they partnered with Guilford County Schools for projects. They are happy they could help with this one. The district says there is already a severe bus driver shortage made worse with COVID-19 cases increasing in the community. Students will need to present their one card when using the city buses. GTA says most of the students who rode today did that, but for those who didn't, they still let them ride.
Many of our routes already run past different high schools in the city. So they're basically just riding on the bus and getting off at the bus stop closest to the school that they're going to. And actually, some of the schools, they actually have several GTA bus stops around them.
There is an app parents can use called Translock to track the status of the city buses.
Jenna, thank you. COVID is impacting the Triad's largest school district and other schools statewide. Because of the surge in cases, NCDHHS recently updated its school safety guidance and continues urging schools to promote vaccination and boosters. If a K-12 student or staff member comes in contact with someone who tests positive for COVID, but the close contact does not develop symptoms or test positive, they can go to school if the person exposed is vaccinated. For adults, that includes a booster shot. The person exposed had COVID and recovered in the last 90 days. The person exposed and the person with COVID were wearing masks properly at the time of exposure. State leaders also want districts to continue encouraging mask use inside school buildings.
COVID shortages are creating another driver shortage in Greensboro. City leaders say solid waste driver shortages could be impacting residential collections. Collections still take place on regular schedule, but you may see a city worker grabbing items earlier or later than normal. To make sure your items are collected, take containers to the curb the night before or by 7 a.m. on collection day.
Wow, just take a look at this incline right here. Our state's coronavirus hospitalizations jumped more than 100 overnight. There are now 3,850 patients statewide. It's the 15th day in a row that this number has gone up. Back before this stretch 2 weeks ago, our numbers were around 1,700, and we're now more than double that. Check out this graph. We highlighted in red every day that went up from the previous day. More red than blue there, right? It's easy to see the vast majority of days have gone up rather than down.
We see that our health systems are being threatened because of the rising volume of COVID-19, our ability to care for our communities.
Leaders from the Triad's three largest healthcare networks teamed up for the first time to issue an urgent warning about COVID-19. They say they are overwhelmed with COVID-19 patients and dealing with staffing shortages as their employees catch COVID.
We can't have this keep going on because everyone's truly exhausted. And I know everyone has a story to tell. We've had 2 years of this. We're all burnt out. We're tired. We're trying to find childcare. We're stressed in and out of school, similar to what Dr. Cagle said with the busing issue.
Health leaders say it comes down to one factor. Do what you can to stay out of the hospital. That means get vaccinated, get a booster shot, and wear a mask.
Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. Tennis star Novak Djokovic won a court battle allowing him to stay in Australia for the Australian Open after his exemption from a COVID vaccine rule was questioned. A federal judge reinstated Djokovic's visa, which was revoked after his arrival last week. His lawyers argued since the player recently recovered from COVID-19, he didn't need to be vaccinated under Australia's rules. A government lawyer for Australia told the judge the immigration minister will consider whether to exercise a personal power of cancellation over Djokovic's visa. Meaning he could see his visa threatened for the second time. More than a dozen people are in the hospital after one of the nation's worst residential fires in 30 years. A New York City apartment building caught fire, killing 17 people, including 8 children, and 60 others were injured. Officials blamed a malfunctioning space heater for the fire, which started in a 2-story unit on the 2nd and 3rd floors. That's according to fire officials. Former American Idol contestant and North Carolina resident Clay Aiken says he plans to run for Congress. He announced his plans to run for the 6th Congressional District. Right now, candidate filing is on pause as the Supreme Court hears arguments about North Carolina congressional maps. Aiken previously ran for office, losing out to a Republican incumbent back in 2014 when he ran for what was then the state's 2nd district seat. And 2 people are recovering after freezing water sprayed out of a hydrant at the Beach Mountain Resort Saturday. A spokesperson for the Beach Mountain Resort said this happened when a guest skied into a water and air hydrant which was under loaded chairs. One woman says the force of the water pushed her out of the lift. The woman says she landed face down. She says she has bruises all over her body and an air bubble in her chest. Beach Mountain Resort said both people transported by EMS had non-life-threatening injuries, and the resort is operating on its regular schedule.
Well, there's no active weather across the Triad, but it is certainly going to get cold across our area. Temperatures right now staying in the upper 40s, and we're getting these beautiful blue skies. And I don't imagine for these to change too much, at least through the first part of the week, but the temperatures certainly will. Let's take a look. This is what it will feel like over the next several hours. So take notice between 6 and 7 a.m. I know you see it. Look at 7 a.m. That's right about here. 15 degrees is what it's going to feel like. And then by the afternoon, we'll just be feeling in the 30s, but still feeling like the freezer. So we're talking extremely cold temperatures for the next several hours. And then they dip right on back down as we head into your Wednesday. So certainly you're going to want to bundle up. Like I said, by the afternoon, we'll back into those upper 30s, but that's still dancing around that freezing point for most of the day. So feeling like the freezer, you know, when you walk up and open it and that whoosh of cold air hits you, that's going to be the case across the Triad through most of the day tomorrow. Now, rain chances don't arrive until the weekend, and that could possibly turn into a wintry mix, but we are just far too away from the time frame to know exactly what we will get. That forecast details on the amounts, the location, and the timing of it isn't until we're about 1 to 3 days out. We're still about 5 to 7 days out, so we're still not certain as to what we can see, whether it is rain or a wintry mix. But like I said, as we near the weekend, we'll have a better idea. Haven't shown the 7-day yet, but here's an early look at it before the 4 p.m. hour ends.
All right, people, you know it is serious if there is a countdown clock, and there is indeed a countdown clock for Girl Scout cookie season.
Yay!
I know, right? Because we all love it. Okay, so yes, we are under what now? 7 hours and stuff to go until the season starts. All things sugar is here.
And I see the countdown is all about the new cookie, the
Right.
Adventureful.
And you tried them.
Yes.
Oh my God.
They're
We did.
delicious.
Amazing.
Bomb.com.
Okay. It is brownie, it is caramel, but of course it's just one of the newest cookies around. This is the Meet the Cookies page, because why wouldn't you want to meet the cookies? There are 12 of them. There are some original cookies on there. Then there are some relatively new ones in the cookie lineup. Can you pick just one That is your favorite. Is that possible?
Impossible for me.
Impossible, but I have like a top 3.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
can do that.
honestly, the new one that we tried, I think that's my favorite.
Really?
Yeah, that's in my
that's
top
how
three.
good it was.
It was good, Tanya.
It was
Besides
life-changing.
the Adventurefuls, what are in your top 3?
I like the tag-alongs.
Yeah,
because I love Reese's cups, so they kind of like remind me
What's
of
the
that.
ones, because I know they change names, don't they, Tanya? So there's ones that have like the coconut and the
That's
chocolate.
the Samoas.
Samoas are
Or
my
Caramel
favorite.
Delights, whichever.
Yes, that's my
Okay.
favorite. And then I also like plain old shortbread, which nobody likes but me.
I love shortbread. That's
Oh,
my
good,
favorite.
good.
Okay, now there's some disagreement each year about what the cookies are called. We just started talking about that, right? For example, my favorite is the shortbread, or what's called the trefoils. On the website, you'll see both names, but the details, they're a little different. The reason, there are 2 bakeries that make all the Girl Scout cookies, ABC Baker and Little Brownie Baker. The Girl Scout Council says the recipes and the ingredients may differ slightly, but the cookies are similarly delicious. Interestingly, cookies are sold by weight, like in the box. So one baker may put 30 smaller cookies in the box. The other may only have 25 slightly larger cookies.
Did
That is interesting. I really did not know that. So it's just 2 different bakeries making the same cookie, so that's why they have different names.
That's why they have different names, slightly different ingredients.
Yeah.
Slightly different calorie counts, slightly different serving counts.
Gosh.
My mind is blown right now.
Yeah,
I always
absolutely.
wondered. I thought it was like a regional thing because I call tagalongs tagalongs. My husband calls them peanut butter patties. So
Right.
I was always curious, and now I know.
And
All
now
I
you
can-
know.
All I think of is dollar signs.
I know, right?
Think
Speaking
about-
of which, what is the going rate for cookies this year? Do you know?
I don't remember.
$2.30. I'm just guessing.
No.
Oh, girl.
It's like $7.
$5?
There are 11 Girl Scout councils. Each sets their price depending on their area. The Peaks to the Piedmont Council, it is $5 a box.
Oh,
I
that's
thought it
not
was
bad.
more than that. Okay.
It's
That's
$5
pretty
a
good.
box. Now, it's a little bit pricier than the normal cookie that you would get on the shelf, but they're Girl Scout cookies, right?
That's right.
Going to a good cause.
It is. Okay, now I leave you with a look back at history. Okay, this is worth taking a gander at for yourself later on. So let's roll this video so you can see it. The archives, they walk you through the beginning in the 1910s when the Girl Scouts preserved fruit. Then door-to-door sales of cookies happened in the 1920s. And when we scroll down, we see in the 30s, a box of cookies, it was 23 cents. By the 1950s, there were 3 kinds of cookies: Thin Mints, shortbread, and a sandwich cookie. By the 70s, there were 7 different cookie options. In the 90s, we got our first low-fat and sugar-free selections. In 2014, Girl Scouts went online. Oh, and this is an oldie but a goodie. Let's listen.
The cookies are here. Madame. Oh, the cookies are here.
¿Qué están aquí?
The cookies are here.
I love these 70s commercials. They're fantastic. And there's your look at history as we go to break.
In case you didn't hear about this, actor and producer Dwayne Hickman has died at 87 years old. Hickman died of complications from Parkinson's disease. This happened Sunday in his Los Angeles home, according to a statement from a family representative. Hickman was best known for his role as Dobie Gillis. The Many Loves of Dobie Gillis debuted in 1959 and focused on the lead character who pursued many love interests, but he could never win their hearts. The TV show ended in 1963, and Hickman appeared in other shows such as The Mod Squad and Clueless. After his acting career, he moved on to work as a program director at CBS and oversaw series like MASH and Dukes of Hazzard.
The house feels a little emptier today after the announcement that actor Bob Saget died. Saget was best known for his role in Full House and on America's Funniest Home Videos. He started his career on the morning program on CBS in 1987, but after 5 months, he was actually fired and then moved on to Full House. He was the first host of America's Funniest Home Videos, and he also narrated How I Met Your Mother. He was found dead in a hotel room in Florida. His cause of death has not been released.
Actors and actresses who work closely with him are reacting to the unexpected news. Neil Patrick Harris says, absolutely stunned to hear about Bob Saget. He was always so kind and generous and hilarious. Gone too soon. Kat Dennings, who played his TV daughter in the sitcom Raising Dad, shared this photo saying, I just can't believe it. What a wonderful guy. He always went out of his way to make me comfortable and talked nonstop about his kids. Such a loss. Jim Carrey writes, beautiful Bob Saget passed away today at 65. He had a big heart and a wonderfully warped comic mind. He gave the world a lot of joy and lived his life for goodness sake. And his Full House family also reacting. John Stamos said, I am broken. I am gutted. I am in complete and utter shock. I will never ever have another friend like him. I love you so much, Bobby. And Candace Burr says, I don't know what to say. I have no words. Bob was one of the best human beings I've ever known in my life. I loved him so much. We'll be right back. February 7th.
Spider-Man.
I went and got mine last Thursday.
Yep.
Did you feel bad?
That's the first thing I thought of when I saw that. Well, it's a new tradition now. The annual Run for Hope with Justin is this weekend, and it's your chance to get a little exercise and also help get rid of food insecurity with children in our area. I spoke with Justin Bailey, who says this is not your typical charity fundraiser. All right, Justin, let's talk about this event. This is the second year that you've done this, correct? And tell me a little bit about what it all entails.
Yeah, so this is the second year, and each year I guess the goal will be for me to increase by a mile, right? I did 43 on my 43rd birthday. I'm going to do 44 miles on my 44th birthday upcoming this weekend. And really what it is, it's at the Kimberly Park, which is where Hope of Winston-Salem is headquartered. Last year we had about 70 people that came out and joined and just ran some of that distance with me. Nobody ran at all, but we had continuous people coming out from 8 a.m. until the end of the time. And so it was a great event. It allowed people to get out and do a little bit of running. There's also booths set up there that was for people to be able to donate. There was food and prizes. We're going to have the same of that type of thing this year, although I think it's going to be even bigger this year. We're going to have a food truck come and set up, as well as I believe some other local vendors will be there and maybe things like crazy running for the kids to come out and participate in that.
Let's talk about the reason behind this, though. We talked about food insecurity with children. I mean, it's pretty widespread in this area.
That's right. Yeah, I believe that pre-pandemic, about a quarter of Forsyth County was in poverty. And, you know, I don't know if they have recent data, but I believe it's even more so now. So it's a big issue, you know, and people don't often know where they're going to get their next meal. Kids, you know, really have a hard time knowing where that's going to come from. And this just gives them that kind of security that they need. The meals that Hope provides, giving them that you know, stable place to go each week to be able to get some food and really healthy meals too. That's the other important aspect of it.
That's a great thing you're doing, Justin. Thanks so much. We'll see you there this weekend. You know, he's a heck of a runner. I mean, this guy runs, we talked about earlier, 50 miles at a time sometimes. It'd be like running from here to Durham or something crazy like that. But what he's doing with this is that he noticed that he said Winston-Salem had one of the worst rates or highest rates for food insecurity with children. And he said, I wanted to do something. Last year they raised $6,000, and that may not sound like a lot to some of you, but he said the way they work it out with Hope of Winston-Salem is $1 equals one meal.
Wow.
The way they can feed. So you really are making a difference to donate and get out there.
So just anything you can give can help. So if you have some loose change or just a couple of dollars, you really can help out a lot of children with this event.
Isn't it sad to think some kids don't know where their next meal is coming from or when it's going to be? So the fact that he's doing something to raise money to help those kids to make sure their little bellies are full.
Yes.
Because when you go to school and you're hungry, you can't learn.
You can't focus like
you're distracted. And I think it's just a big issue in North Carolina in general. I believe it's 1 in 4 children or 1 in 5. One of the two that don't know where their next meal is going to come from. So any time that we can give back, I know there's a lot of organizations, a lot of you know, pantries around town.
$21 can pay for a whole week.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, look for that link in this story on our website. We'll be back. Either they're charging absurd prices, and they're trying to sell you fake tests. Hear how to protect yourself in about 6 minutes. 1, 2, 3.
Hello, welcome to Coleman's Kitchen. Today we will be cooking Korean chicken in the News 2 area.
Korean chicken is absolutely delicious. It is that rice flour in the batter that makes it nice and crispy.
Yes, 10-9-876-54321.
Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Mic check 1 2 1 2 3.
Hi there, Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois.
So it's time for my 2 cents, and today I'm talking about it's National Clean Up Your Desk Day. Who knew? Yeah, kind of a good way to start the new year, get things organized on the desk. So I thought we would take a little candid peek at my coworkers on the 4 to 5 and myself. We'll look at all of our desks. Here we go. Let's start with Lauren. Lauren is the quintessential organized business person, right? Yeah, she's got it all together. Some lotions and things over here in one little section. That's not bad. But look at like batteries for her camera. I mean, gradually and just generally speaking, she's totally organized, right? Not bad. Stacy, not bad either, but things that just say Stacy are on Stacy's desk. Pictures of her lovely little girl Baylor and her husband. It's just cute as it can be. And then of course, Stacy would have to have a Hydro Flask, and it would have to be pink. Like I probably could have said that to you without even seeing the desk. Not bad for her either. Tasha, our producer, hard worker, but is the queen of Post-its. I think the Post-its everywhere, they're gonna have to go. Now, when you come to me, you know, I'm the cut up and the least serious probably of the whole group and the class clown. So of course, and this is literally, I didn't stage this is what's on my desk. Hot sauce, multiple hot sauce, including a ghost pepper that you only have to put about 2 drops in something. I'm obsessed with that. A Rubik's Cube, solved, mind you, and a picture of legendary Tar Heel basketball coach Dean Smith. That pretty much sums up me, doesn't it? It's funny how desks kind of are a reflection of our personalities. But now, we gotta clean all that stuff up. It's National Clean Up Your Desk Day, people. Get to it. That's just my 2 cents, and that's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.